Welcome, everybody, to the Precedent Minds of the Mavericks. My name is Amina, your host, and I cannot explain how excited I am to finally be launching this show. It means a lot to me and my confidence, actually, because I've sat on this idea since 2018, and I'm finally doing it. Starting off the show, we have Tina and James. They're at Tina Talebi. That's Talebi on social media. And I think it's so important that I'm starting with them because they are my friends and they help me get comfortable in my interview role. And more importantly, they've built a brand from the ground up. And I've been so fortunate to see their growth. So I thought it was really important to start with them and understand how to build a brand. So without further ado, let's get into episode 1. I like to start every episode with, how do you define success for you guys? Whether that's like you guys want to talk about the Tina and James like brand that you've built or like individually, but how do you guys define success for yourselves?
I think I have an answer.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so basically we set up like goals, right? So when we started all this, we had a goal like in a year and a half. Let's push our YouTube, let's push social media, let's see where this goes. If a year and a half this doesn't work, the lane we're taking now, let's do something else. Let's move on to something else, right? So we just really focused on like within that year, like going hard every week, doing like 2-3 things, 2 videos a week, 1 video a week, trying different things, just kept pushing and going in random different, like doing random ideas.
Yeah, we were hardcore in the first year.
Yeah, we went like really hard.
This is YouTube alone.
And just YouTube. And YouTube was really hard to
it's so hard.
There's so much work to like learn like analytics and when to post and just
same as Instagram, but Instagram is a bit easier to get followers than YouTube. Subscribers it's like people watch stuff but don't subscribe, you know?
Yeah,
sure.
It's really hard. It's like you feel like you're at the mercy of like begging them for subscribe, you know, and you're just like
Tell them the story of like this is how hard we were trying when he went to the grocery store.
Okay, so
this is like subscriber by subscriber, like one by one. That's how we made our YouTube grow.
So, I just want to say, so just before I tell you that story, because it's pretty jokes, but success. So I think success is measured by our goals, like how we achieve them, right? And it's not like necessarily success or failure. We don't deem that. We just push for something else, right?
Sure.
So we set that goal and push really hard for it, and then like see the result, because we had the open mind that like this might not work, and that's okay, right? We just move on to something else. So, but so I want to tell this story about when I got this lady to subscribe. You know how when you go into a grocery store,
you're like handing out mixtapes?
No. That would have been nice.
That would have been
good. So you know how like you subscribe, you ask people to subscribe. Like I would go to the gym, talk to random people, and like plug in like our channel and stuff like that. And they'd be like, oh, okay, cool. I gained like a few, but I was in the grocery store. You know how you have those people who ask for credit cards?
Like sign up for
sign up for a credit card and all this stuff. So she's like, hey, do you want to buy this PC MasterCard? It's really good. You can get travel points and all this stuff. And I'm like, actually, we do a lot of travel. You should check out our YouTube channel. Look at this. I have a Visa that we put all our money on points on, and we pay with this. And then I ended up flipping her to subscribe. So she didn't get the credit card out of me, but I got her to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
She pulled out her phone and he's like, search us now.
Search us now, subscribe.
And she subscribed. And it's the funniest story because like in the beginning, we were just like, that's how hard we were trying.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Anybody, you know, like I would just, not like in an annoying way, but like I'm in the business, like my business has to sell, right? So it's kind of easy to talk to people. So when she tried to sell me on a credit card, a PC MasterCard, I was like, nah, I'll try to sell you on a YouTube subscription. You know? So she ended up subscribing. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And like, when did you guys start your channel essentially, or like when did you, because Tina, we had a conversation where you're like, I'm gonna go public because I want to start posting more. And I feel like that was like 2015, 2016.
Yeah, it was a little bit after we got married. So we got married in 2015, and I tried to, before that in 20, I think 11, 2012, I did a YouTube thing on my own. Like I
Okay.
didn't want anybody, not even James, not my parents,
Hmm.
and I would upload like random things. And I started actually getting a lot of views. Like for that time, I was getting like 4,000 views. And I had
Wow.
5 subscribers, you know. Like, but
Yeah.
then I stopped. And then later I tried Instagram. I thought travel because we would travel so much. Why don't I do really nice travel pictures? To be honest, to this day, I think my travel photos were like so nice that they still are. I love them, but
Yeah.
no one cared.
Yeah.
You know?
The problem wasn't content because like you guys have always had content.
Yeah,
Oh,
always.
thanks.
And we always like, I mean, for me, pictures, I love taking pictures and I love someone taking pictures of me. I don't like find that awkward or anything. I love it, right?
Yeah, the camera loves you.
Yeah. Thanks. But like it's something fun for me, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say I tried, I think it was 2018 is we can go back maybe even and then you can do a correction on that if you want, but to our messages and try to find that out. But
Oh my
yeah,
God, yeah.
it was long before when we hit our like viral videos.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I tried for like a year and a half and literally I lost hope. I was like, this doesn't work. Like I even used to promote my stuff on Instagram and pay for it, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, and it would do well, like people would like it, but they wouldn't subscribe, they wouldn't follow.
Okay, so do you have like an idea of what wasn't working during that time? As to like why people weren't following or like subscribing to your YouTube?
I
they
think it's
didn't know
'cause
us.
They didn't know us, and
Yeah.
I think we didn't ask in the beginning. It's
And
the
our
biggest thing, you have to ask.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
like
our
there was no call to action.
Yeah, and our content was just like the other travelers who were traveling. Like it was beautiful pictures of like us or me in like a beautiful setting. It didn't
Yeah.
really do anything else, you know? That's it. That's all it was. And I thought if I just put that out and really tell people exactly where we were so they can also go there, that it would be like
Yeah.
that niche, but it didn't matter really. I guess people just use hashtags and find those places themselves, you know?
Yeah, so you're saying that like you had a message, you did have a message, like you had intention with what you were doing,
Yeah.
but like your delivery wasn't what it is now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I don't think
Yeah, for
people
sure.
cared about like I guess the audience who were coming to my page, they didn't really care to follow another travel couple. you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing with like social media. Obviously, it's like a very saturated market, so it's like,
Yeah, what can you do differently?
Yeah.
What small thing can you do differently?
And it wasn't personal, right? Like it
No.
wasn't personal content. It was just travel content. And I guess there's so many people already who had like, let's say millions of followers. So people would go follow them, you know? I don't know.
And some of them, it made no sense.
Yeah.
You know, like some of the videos we're watching, I'm just like, what am I even watching? How has this
Yeah.
got like 500K views
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like friggin' 3,000 likes? I'm like, this makes no sense at all.
Did you guys ever think about buying followers?
We did, yeah,
we
we did.
did.
Honestly, we did. We're
Yeah.
like, maybe this will help boost the algorithm in that. And then,
It's like, who do you trust? You know, like, how do you even go about
yeah,
that?
there was that whole trust factor. And then we were like,
We heard how bad it is to buy
yeah,
it.
like it's super
Yeah.
bad. Like it's really,
Yeah.
it's like hits your account really hard, right? Because they flag it too, right? And
Yeah.
then they know it's fake, right? It's not like you're fooling YouTube
Yeah.
Yeah.
or Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah, absolutely.
We thought about being shadowed, so we did like research on it, you know?
And it just, we're like, no, because
Yeah.
it's just super, there's so much benefit. Like anything that's gonna be good,
Mhm.
it takes a lot of work and it never happens really fast, right?
Yeah, of course.
You know, there's a big lead up towards it being something great, right? So,
Yeah. I feel like I was trying so hard when I think about myself then. I think
Yeah.
if James wasn't there and he didn't push me and then TikTok didn't come around, I don't think we would be here.
Yeah. I wanted to get into that because like in the beginning, like James, you were kind of more behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And like, was it that you didn't want to be in front of the camera, or like it's just like the
Yeah.
way the cookie crumbled?
Pretty much. Like I didn't care at all, right?
Yeah.
Like I'd never had an Instagram of my own. I was like, one day I was like, maybe I'm gonna start one, kind of like Tina's YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Bored, and I was like not working because it was the off season in winter. So I'm like at home chilling. So I was
Yeah.
like, maybe I'll start something on Instagram. I started Instagram. I uploaded one photo, and I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, I'm not gonna post pictures
Of myself.
of
every day.
myself. Like I can't do it.
This is weird. Yeah.
So I just like cut it, right? It was like literally
Day two.
not even a
maybe.
day, half a day thing,
Yeah.
right? And then I just never really like cared to do that. I was even having a hard time being in pictures for like Tina and I's own photos.
So in the beginning, when I would be like, if we were on a like, let's say our 1 year anniversary, I remember we were in France, south of France, and we even got into an argument because he just wouldn't come into the picture with me. I'm like, these are our memories. It wasn't even for, let's say,
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah.
He would feel like uncomfortable in a crowd, like there's so many people around him for him to pose there. Meanwhile, I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, and he's feeling uncomfortable. So from there to now, huge difference.
Yeah.
Sudden, it switched for him because I don't feel like I forced you. I definitely
No,
didn't.
it wasn't
Yeah.
like that.
You just became so comfortable, and now when we travel, he has a gimbal. There's like a screen.
Yeah.
I'm walking, and he like moves crowds, and he like, yeah, and
Aw.
I don't really care.
he doesn't care. And then like we're sitting in like a place that there's so many people. He pulls out his camera and he's vlogging. I'm like, what? Who are you?
Yeah.
But then I get awkward when we do a sit down YouTube video, just us in our house.
Yeah. It's like weird because you're talking to like yourselves, or like
Yeah.
at least you have each other, right? Opposed to
Yeah.
just like you being in your bathroom or like talking to a mirror, being like, hey guys, welcome to my YouTube
Yeah.
channel.
Yeah.
So it's like nice that you guys have each other. I wanted to touch a bit on like obviously how do people receive you guys, right? Because it's like you're an interracial couple, and like obviously some people have their hangups. For the most part, it seems like everybody's cool. And like, you know, we've had conversations where you're like, yeah, people have like come to me and be like, yo, like I felt ignorant before, and like I've switched my views because like you've offered that. Like, how do you guys feel that like that's played a part in either like in your growth? Sorry, that's what I wanted to get at.
Yeah. We have some good stories. So basically, after our TikTok videos, we just started TikTok in the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
I told James, I'm like, let's do it. And he's like, I'm not going to dance like everyone. I'm like, no, you have to dance. All
Yeah.
this stuff.
As soon as you see this or whatever they do, I'm like, oh my god. Yeah. Oh man.
It's so funny because that's everybody's first thing. When you mentioned the words TikTok, because I had this conversation on the weekend, someone was just like, well, I don't want to see 12-year-olds dance. And I was like, no, you just have to get into the right algorithm. That's essentially what TikTok will feed you at first. But like, granted, if you have an understanding, you can go look through things and be like, okay, I want to get on this side of TikTok.
Exactly.
And then change your whole algorithm, which is funny.
Yeah, we did, like, we found some funny videos that we would die laughing at. So
Yeah.
our first one, I think, was the one with the mirror where you put your face
Yeah,
into the mirror and then your eyes go like this. And
Your eyes go different ways. Yeah, it's
it
pretty
was
fun.
so funny to us. So when we even filmed that, we had so much fun together because we laughed so
Yeah.
much. And then we did a few more. I did some makeup, like one makeup one. And then we thought about, I don't know how, but we thought about how he does so many Persian things, that he's not Persian and he already does so many things that are Persian. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I think people would like to see that because, you know, physically you don't look Persian, obviously. And then when you do these things, people are going to love it, especially because, you know, when someone's not from your culture and
Yeah.
you do things
100%.
you love it, right? You're like, wow. This is
Absolutely.
interesting. Yeah, so that was the first video we did where
And I still fought that too. I was still like, no,
he's like,
no.
like no one's, and then like went viral. It was crazy how fast, like by seconds, it went from like when I posted it, it went to like 100K.
That's
views.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nuts.
I thought
Yeah.
it was wrong. I asked him, I'm like, what is this number?
It hit like
Yeah.
600K in like
That's crazy.
not like a few hours. Like we woke up and it was over 500,000, right?
Yeah.
That's wild. I want to save that for part 2. I want to say, because I want to dive into that in part 2.
Okay.
Um,
So your question was what? Ask it again, because I thought to give some background to it. But
yes, I love that you gave background because that's like great. It was just like James's resistance almost. No, sorry. How do people receive you guys?
Yeah, as an interracial couple.
Yeah, and like even like now, right? Like it's just like
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
people are very, very opinionated. We know the internet.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
how do you
so
find-
in the
yeah.
beginning, we had like a few people who were racist.
Yeah, we had some. Definitely, you're gonna get some haters, and then.
yeah,
But I think people received us really well.
Yeah.
Right. Like it was really like it was overwhelming how positive the response was.
yeah,
It was like really nice because like even when we did YouTube videos and you put so much work into this stuff, and it's like a huge sense of vulnerability, right? When you're posting this, it's like your
For
work,
sure.
you're showcasing yourself, your life, you know, who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And then someone just hits like dislike. It's like it like shatters you, you know what I mean?
yeah.
I always was just like, why don't you just like stop watching? You don't have to, you know what I mean? Like it's such a cruel thing. And so when this happened,
Yeah, and your videos are like very well done. Like I'm not even being biased. Like I've seen it, I'm like, wow, like even like your eye for it is just like it's very like nice to see. It's not like, oh my God, we've like gone through the city and like this is a selfie of us. Like it's like you have like this whole production going.
and try to.
Yeah.
I don't like. I'm not a videographer, so there's obviously going to be a lot of rough areas. But I just kind of go what's in my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
For sure.
But yeah, the reception was really nice, and that was a huge like motivating factor for us. That was very encouraging, and you know, even the negative stuff, the way Tina handled it, like diffusing any kind of negative comments, was like super impressive because. I could say the same thing she was saying, but for some reason I would get into a fight with someone online. But
Oh, so you'd coming back to people.
we coming back
Oh,
to everybody. Yeah, and that was very like that was Tina's like main goal was like I want to like actually
Engage.
touch base with people because she knows from her Instagram she like getting in touch with people was like super hard. No one commented back. No one like replied to them. So when Tina started, people were like, "Oh my God, you actually messaged us?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Back,
You know what I
that's so
mean?
sweet. I'm like,
Yeah.
there.
And the thing is, it's like I think like when you like really, really started taking Instagram seriously, like we had already like we were already in a world that was saturated, right? So it's like obviously making those connections is important. So people see that you're like actually legit human beings, not like
exactly
just this made up character almost is what I want to call it.
Yeah, like we don't want to be some entity that's like on a pedestal. Like who the hell are we really? You know what I mean?
For us, it sounds funny. Like it's like, oh my God, you messaged me? Yeah, we're both human beings.
What do you say?
Yeah.
You said something nice to me. Obviously, you recognize that, right?
And I think the influencer world, like I would say you guys are influencers for sure. Like I feel like it used to be really, really authentic back in the day when YouTube started and stuff where it's like you could actually learn like whatever skill you wanted, but then people saw the money in it and then it was just automatic, well, I want to be able to like have free stuff. Like I want Rihanna sending me a PR kit, and then it was just like it took away from
exactly.
And then like you now have like this string of people who are getting quote unquote canceled every day. And it's just like, are we even surprised by this? Like
it's no surprise at all. Like you can even see it, you know.
100%. Yeah.
So I think because I replied to those negative comments with kindness and I explained to them and asked them, why is it a problem for you that we're an interracial couple, you know?
Yeah.
Such a rude comment, like why would you say that? Or, you know, and then people would reply and be like, because, you know, in this culture, because they automatically thought I'm from a certain culture or religion because I'm from Iran. And they said, well, in our culture, it's not allowed to marry outside of our religion. I'm like, actually, I'm not from that, and that's okay. But even then, you should be able to marry whoever you love.
100%.
And then they were little kids. They were like teenagers, and they were like, wow, that would be so nice if I could do that.
100%. Yeah.
So we had really honest conversations, and they became like really nice and every single person, I would say 99.9% of those negative commenters would apologize. Like, I'm so sorry.
And like, how do you build that skin, right? Because it's like, it isn't for everybody. It is hard. And like, I think like, Tina, I think it was like one of the last times I saw you, like, I just like saw the resilience in you and I was like, wow, that's like amazing to see. And I didn't say this out loud, but like, it was just nice to see because it's like, you guys have amassed such a following, but it's like James had said, it was like one comment can be like, oh my God, this is so destructive. What the hell? But like, you obviously have to overcome that. And like, how do you do that? Like, what do you tell yourself?
You know what? At the end of the day, it's like, for me personally, I tell myself like, I don't care. Like this whole like Instagram stuff, this is fun. Yeah, this is something that we put a lot of work into. But at the end of the day, if you don't like it, I don't care. You know what I mean? We try to keep it where we tell each other like, yo, the worst case, this is going to be for us, especially with our travel videos, right? Because those I put a lot of work into, and sometimes those get me down. I'm not going to lie. I'm not like super strong. I don't get fazed by it. Like, yeah, it does. I do get discouraged sometimes when like no one watches it. But at the end of the day, Tina's like, yo, this is just for us anyways. When we look back, like we have these memories and you put a lot of work into it and it'll be a nice video for us to watch, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
Family home videos where you're just walking around.
Yeah. And some kids like, look what I can do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's all pixelated.
And then for me, it's a little bit different. And I think it's because of my background. And you said be honest, so I'm just going to be really
Please.
honest. Coming from Iran, where I'm from a minority religion, I'm a Baha'i. It was important for us in our like Sunday schools. They would teach us how you have to be kind no matter how much prejudice and racism comes towards you in school, in our own country, right?
Yeah.
So it was something I was taught from the beginning. It doesn't matter what people say and do. You need to be kind to them, because the main idea of our message of our prophet and in our religion is to unite every single person. Doesn't matter what the color of your skin is or where you're from or what your religion is. We're all the same. And that's the main thing. So I think when people said that, it was like almost like a challenge. And I'm like, oh, really? You think I suck because I married someone from you? And then, you're just really kind to them. And literally every single person's like, wow, that's amazing. I'm so sorry. And you have such a good conversation with people from all over the world, with like in a small village that they've never seen a colored person,
Yeah, 100%. So it's like also understanding someone else's perspective or like what they've gone through.
Yeah. That's how I think I didn't let it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I wanted to ask because like obviously like amongst like your friends, kind of like you guys are pretty much like the only people who have pursued this kind of path. Mm-hmm. Like do you like, and obviously I think being a creative in general can be lonely because it almost feels like your dreams are so far-fetched when you're explaining it to somebody who doesn't do what you do. How do you like, can you describe if you've had like low points and if you've if how you've pushed through those?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're
especially in like the beginning, right? Like where it's just like, you want to do what?
Yeah. We're in one right now. Yeah. We're in a low point.
It may not look like it, but because our growth was so fast and then now it's like plateaued and it's growing a little bit, it's going down and up and down, we're in one for sure.
Yeah. I mean, we're at a big like crossroad kind of thing. So like you can only, with everything with social media, everything you watch, like the progression of things happening throughout like YouTube. You always see it starts off one way and it takes a completely different direction, right?
Yeah.
So now we're in that area where do we go? Because you can only be funny for so long before the joke gets old, right?
Yeah.
And so now we have this like transition period, right? That's kind of like our following dropped quite a bit, like in the, it's for certain reasons.
The growth
dropped, right?
Yeah.
A bit of our following, not too much, I would say, but like certain things, I get it. Like people are gonna get like, they're like, oh, who cares about this now? Because at the end of the day,
they never said that.
They never said that. But you're just
these are all that's a big one, yeah.
Right. But yeah, we need to
we push each other. That's how we stay
For
positive.
sure.
So like, for instance, for the past while, I think I can say that you've been pretty discouraged.
Yeah.
So
it's
I
not
have to
motivated,
always-
right?
Yeah, I have to be like, because he did that for me when I was discouraged, you know?
Yeah.
No, it's okay. We're gonna make it. That's what he would tell me. He's like, because when I had like 1,000 followers and it stayed at 1,000 for like a year and a half, I just was discouraged. You know, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not getting like one more follower.
No, we're at
you know?
600 and I'm discouraged.
Yeah, okay. And he's like, and I'm like, it's okay. It's like waves, right? That's how Instagram algorithm works. It's like the casino effect, I think they call it, where they want you to keep working at it, and then you have your highs, and then it comes down, and that's how you get addicted, and you want to be on it. And so, anyways, I think we have to encourage each other.
Do you find that it ever becomes unhealthy where you're like, yo, what am I fixated on here?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because like at the end of the day, Instagram is not our like business. It became one.
Yeah. And you guys have lives outside of this. Like it's not like
exactly.
Yeah.
Which is like so interesting. So that like, like you guys maintain like, I don't want to say it's reality, but it's like a whole other world. Cause I feel like, like Instagram can feel like this like la la land where it's like,
yeah,
for sure. Especially when people see that I'm a roofer.
Yeah.
I'm like talking to clients and then we just talking about random stuff and then they're like, what? I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like such a weird, like an uncommon thing to see. But I guess, you know, like there are people that have their Instagram account and their normal life, right? I think that's the way it should be. I think it
kind of connects, no?
It does kind of connect, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially with like the whole culture aspect.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that people have a normal life outside of this social media because like you need to still be engaged with the normal mundane things of life instead of being like
this is just the good
by this like whole platform thing, right? I think that really messes people up, right?
Yeah, for sure.
For
and
sure.
I think it happening to young people. Like we're not young anymore. We're in our 30s, early 30s.
And I think it's an advantage for you almost, right? Because like you have like your cognitive skills are very developed, of course.
Exactly.
Whereas like if you're 15 and you're making it, that's like a whole like the whole new like slew of like TikTok people, for example, like Charli D'Amelio, she's like what, like I think she's just under 20. Yeah. And like to me, I can't even imagine like dealing with that.
Yeah, what that would do to your mind, like just the whole like platform in your mind and you're thinking about yourself that it would do, you know, like
100%. And like I want to get into this question because like you kind of touched on it. So how do you guys remain authentic? Like obviously it's easy to fall into trends, and like I think you have to play to those a lot, but like even if you are doing a trend, like how do you like take your own spin on it? And like James was saying, it's like you've reached this point where you're in a transitional period, and essentially you guys are like writers on a season, right? And it's like, well, what's happening next season? Like how do you keep the momentum going? How do you keep authenticity going and like still keep it entertaining almost? There's so many things to juggle and think about. There's so many
I think our followers kind of help us in that sense because they ask us what they want to see. Show me your neighborhood. Can I see your house? So now it's personal things, you know. Now they know we are an interracial couple, and he's learning Farsi because he wants to be able to speak a different language with our kids, maybe in the future.
That's amazing.
You know, and so these were always our goals. So, but now I think our followers kind of help in a sense because they're asking, right? Yeah,
for sure.
But to keep it authentic, because it's about our life, I think that's really easy, right?
Yeah.
But if we want to do a trend that's like everyone is doing, try to make the trend something like that's related to our life.
Put our own spin on it.
Yeah.
We started off in our own lane anyways, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it kind of just built that need for the authenticity to be consistent because that's what worked, right? We were lucky that like we created video. It was pretty crazy. Like it was a really like surreal experience to see people copying your video idea, you know, that was original.
Yeah.
You know,
cool.
so that was nice because we always said to each other like we have to do our own thing. Let's do our own thing. We're interesting people, and I believe that with everybody. Like even with you, Amina, like you have your own like
Yeah.
genius idea and your
Thank
own
you.
genius formula.
Yeah.
You have it. Everybody has this
Yeah, for sure.
thing inside them. You just have to focus enough,
Yeah.
and it'll like reveal itself, right?
Yeah.
For sure. I'm going to end episode 1, part 1 on this note, and then next week we'll get into part 2.